Good morning, everyone, and thank you to the Brookston District Chamber of Commerce Ask an Expert. Today we have Wesley Patterson from Medicine Hat College, and he's going to be talking about corporate training. Thank you so much for attending, Wesley. We're so happy to have you here today.
Well, thanks for having me.
All right, we are ready as soon as you are.
Perfect. So yeah, if we can just start the slideshow on from the current slide there.
There we go.
Perfect. So today I'm going to be talking a bit about what I do at Medicine Hat College. And the area that I work in here at Medicine Hat College is in the area of corporate training. And so I've titled this presentation, What's in it for me? So when people look at training, what's in it for me? What's in it for my business? What's in it for my organization? Why should I look at corporate training, and what value will it provide me moving forward, my staff, all of these things, business owners, managers, they want to consider when they're looking at corporate training or any type of professional development. So if you can advance the slide. So I like to use this analogy of the gym. Not all training is the same. So nowadays you can get training from hundreds of sites. You can go and watch YouTube videos. There's a little bit of difference though when we're delivering training at a college is we have to meet certain standards. So if you advance the slide. So just a little bit about me. My name's Wes Patterson. I'm a certified management consultant with CMC. So we're considered professionals trusted for critical times. And when we look at all the events of last year, it definitely speaks to that. So within my role here at Medicine Hat College, I develop customized training for your business or organization. We look at your specific goals, your specific needs. So anything from maybe you're having some conflict with members of your staff, you're looking to improve or enhance communication. We also look at ways to make your training cost effective, how to schedule at your convenience. So timing that when it's going to work well for you and your staff. And we want to see value received. So how is this going to improve your productivity, your sales, and maximize your return on investment? Next slide. So corporate training is located within the Continuing Studies Department at Medicine Hat College. So in Brooks, Angie Lund is the individual that you would reach out to who is going to provide you information on what the college has to offer in terms of continuing studies. So often when we think of continuing studies, we think our wide range of courses, campfire guitar, courses for foods. But another area that we can look at is for professional development, upgrading skills, and working towards professional certification. Advanced slide. So when you go to our website at mhc.ab.ca and you select continuing studies, this is what you're going to see on the front page of the continuing studies homepage. So you're going to see these 4 boxes. So you're going to see Medicine Hat courses. You're going to see a box that's going to link to Brooks courses. And then you're going to see a box about us, and then one specific for corporate training. So again, I'm going to touch on a little bit about courses in Medicine Hat, courses in Brooks, but the prime focus of my talk today is on corporate training. Advanced slide. Customized workshops and team building. So we work with a number of clients. These are just a few of the clients and customers that we've worked with recently, from the city of Medicine Hat to Alberta Parks. We've done custom solutions, Real Estate Center, which is real estate in rural areas, CanCarb, AutoStar. These are just some of the companies that we worked with on custom builds recently. Next slide. We also work with a number of community partners in collaborative ways, such as the Brooks and District Chamber of Commerce. We also work with the Construction Association, along with different organizations like Y Employment and other colleges and institutions, Mount Royal University and Red Deer College. Next slide. Training solutions, so many things that we can offer. Wide range of training, things from business skills to computer training, team building, you name it, leadership development. If you don't see what you want, let us know. Next slide. Here are a few of the current online courses that are available if you're interested in enhancing some of your professional development skills. So there's a certificate in data analysis, Power BI. There's an online bookkeeping certificate. You can take managerial certificates. Cybersecurity is becoming a hot topic nowadays, especially with us doing a lot of meetings in a virtual environment. That's becoming very critical. There's been a lot of calls I've been on. I've actually been on a couple that have been Zoom bombed. So we have to kind of watch that these days. Next slide, please. I want to mention this course. This is one that we're going to be running an advanced accelerated 4-day delivery in July. So it's going to run from July 26th to 29th. This is going to take place at our Medicine Hat campus, but this is our management skills for supervisors course. And the instructor that comes in, Red Deer College refers to him as their rock star. His name is Justin Flunder. And when I deliver courses with Justin to different clients, often I get feedback of what else does Justin teach. So we're going to be working with Justin. I'm already looking at some other custom deliveries this fall for different organizations, bringing Justin out to deliver custom courses. So again, there's this accelerated 4-day course. Often when we do deliveries at businesses, we'll go 2 days 1 week, and then a subsequent week, we will go another 2 days. And then we can custom build it to focus on the issues that are critical to your business. Next slide, please. Another exciting course, and this one's coming up right away, very soon. I think we're about 70% at capacity already booked for this course, and it's available online. This is our launch, our pilot of our certificate in authentic leadership and emotional intelligence. So this is becoming quite an interesting topic, especially for those that are moving from boss to leader. And there's a difference. So becoming an effective, authentic leader, and also being aware of emotional intelligence. And with all the events, again, looking at COVID and the things that have happened in this past year, very strong skill sets to develop, to tune up, to hone in. And this is a course that we've taken from other custom corporate training that we've done. And it's just going to be a great delivery. I've already seen some of the early content of this, and this one will be delivered by Brian Angelic from Halo Wellness. Next slide, please. Trade-specific training. So we have a number of online courses. We've partnered with Biz Train and Develop. And so I've thrown a few of the different courses up here. So we can see like arc flash, hazard awareness, some other ones, utility, advanced line locating. One of the interesting things with some of these courses too, we look at the management skills and we look at these trade-specific training, but the Medicine Hat College, one thing to consider, if you already have a trade, you can take some of these courses to advance your skill sets, but then you can also look at some of the managerial courses to work towards Blue Seal, proficiency in business designation, and that's given through Alberta Industry and Trades. So a lot of trades business owners, this is something to consider, and you can definitely reach out to me and I can discuss how you go about working towards obtaining your Blue Seal designation. Next slide, please. This slide is a little bit of humor. You know, often we hear this, we're too busy. We're too busy to improve. But sometimes, as we can see here, you know, making these slight, simple adjustments can save us a world of grief. Next slide, please. Benefits to customized contract training. Our clients often note increased employee performance, productivity, and efficiency, increased morale, motivation, and job satisfaction, increased staff loyalty, and improved employee retention and diminished attrition. Next slide. So testimonials. So I can talk your ear off about all the benefits of corporate training, but one of the biggest things is the businesses themselves and the testimonials of what it has done for them. So one of the clients that we've worked with on a number of projects, and we're looking at a project coming up to do some training for another 200 of their staff, is Ready Enterprises out of Medicine Hat. We've done a number of different custom deliveries, from project management to improving communication to helping them work with dealing with conflict, personal hygiene, stress management. So we've addressed a number of these issues in custom builds for the Ready organization. Methanex is another company that we've worked with, and we've done work with admin, but we've also done work with some of their custom IT courses. So we brought in IT professionals to work with them, as well as consultants working one-on-one, improving specific skill sets for maybe one or two staff. And we've done that at different points in time with Methanex. Next slide. This one's an interesting one, Argo Sales Bromley. So this is a business, a company, and they're quite large in Medicine Hat. They're owned by Argo Sales, and they're owned, I think they were just recently bought by an even larger company. So this is a lot of fabrication, a lot of welders. So there's a lot of blue collar positions. And the training that we did with them, we did train on two levels, on increasing business communication skills and management skills for supervisors. So we did some custom build course deliveries with them. They had such a great feedback that they wound up doing multiple sessions and running it through all their lead hands and their frontline supervisors as well. Next slide. Here's a local company that, if you're in Brooks, you're definitely familiar with, JBS Corporation. And JBS is actually quite an interesting company, different from previous owners of the beef plant. They have a value of meritocracy, and they're really developing a unique culture with JBS. And we've been working with them with Medicine Hat College, where they come and we've developed custom training where they're actually bringing these skill sets back to the plant, and then they are noting the key performance indicators on how the results are being achieved. So again, they come up with their own projects, they go into continuous improvement teams, and they're implementing the training that they're given in psychological capital, in supervisory skill development, authentic leadership. We've created a lot of great stuff out of this program. The turnover rate in most beef processing plants throughout the US is usually quite high, around 70 to 80%. When we compare this to the Brooks plant, current turnover is actually a bit lower. We're saying 15% is actually closer to 10 to 12. And we have a target of 7 to 8. So we're shooting for that. And just this year, JBS they're given some kind of award as the top plant worldwide. And And just to kind of put into perspective the size of this global corporation, JBS is the number 2 supplier worldwide of food, the number 1 of beef. So it is a substantial client, and we're already talking in talks with setting up training for the 2021-2022. It's become so popular at the plant that the staff actually put in resumes and they apply to get into the training program, because when you get in, that's tied to the job, and that's the way you can start moving up and moving ahead into different positions, either at the Brooks plant or even for those that are looking to go and expand, get into management positions, and even go international. Next slide, please. So one of the things that is often said, well, what happens if we invest all this money and we train people and then they leave? Well, that's a risk. That's certainly a risk. So part of the thing when we're looking at training people is to identify the individuals that are going to be best trained. Those that training isn't going to benefit, or if they're already have a foot out the door, then those are other decisions that we look at of training might not be the answer for those individuals. And the answer might be giving them an opportunity to go seek more fulfilling work in other avenues. But definitely investing in training, especially if it's targeted training, provides a lot of value back to businesses. Next slide, please. Some of the recent online training deliveries that we've come up with in this past year are quite interesting. Working from home effectively. These have been things that have been coming up, how to manage remote teams, working alone. And a big thing that's come up is mental health prevention and psychological safety training, because there's a lot of new stresses when you're trying to work from home and manage the kids and they're out of school and there's all these things compounding. So these are issues that HR departments are faced with. And so we can definitely look at how to augment some training to give the staff, the employees, the tools so they're going to perform at their best. Next slide, please. Another great aspect of training is ongoing training, ongoing personal development, skill enhancement. So again, these are just a few of our online delivery options. If we don't do a full custom or in-course, there's a lot of great online courses to develop skill sets, increase your personal development. There's even a free course on goal setting that I encourage everyone to check out after this presentation. Next slide, please. The 7 most expensive words in business. We have always done it that way. Another image here is employees stay when they are. Notice how there's about 10 boxes there and just one of them is paid well. And there's a lot of studies where pay is important to a point, but there's a lot of other things with having employees have meaning and purpose and feeling that they're contributing to their jobs. There's a whole holistic piece to that we want to look at, where people are going to feel valued, they're going to be empowered when they're appreciated and trusted, essentially treated like a human. These are the employees that are going to help grow your business. And again, this is a big thing that I believe in training, and we're seeing the results real time in the clients and the customers that we work with. Next slide, please. Online occupational health and safety training 24/7. So we've teamed up with a company, Biz Training, and Biz Training delivers online health and safety training. They deliver some soft skill training as well. And the nice thing with Biz Training is you can take a lot of health and safety courses. Sometimes it's hard to get into a course, or often in-class health and safety courses will get canceled if they don't have enough people to run the course. So for example, one course Ground Disturbance 201, there's the ABCGA endorsed. We also have the global ground disturbance course available here. Confined space, fall protection training. So there's more and more as we're moving to online, there's more of these options as well, which is important for people that are working those field positions and maybe they can't get back in to that course, or maybe that course gets canceled. They need to have those tickets to go to work. Next slide, please. Another thing that we started doing with Biz is we started creating practical business tools and software solutions for occupational health and safety and HR functionality. So this can be everything from customizing businesses' learning management systems, training record management, digital forms, folders, reporting tools, equipment asset management. This is a whole presentation in itself, so I'm not going to go too much into detail with this, but we've worked with other adult learning centers. So we've worked with Hannah Learning Center. We've set them up with a platform. We're currently working with Community Futures Treaty 7, setting them up with platforms with the different bands. Newell, County Newell, we set up a platform. So again, this allows them a lot of functionality to use the system in different ways. And a couple of quick examples, OH&S, you could have your equipment tracked, you could have all of your staff, their safety tickets online, so they could literally have a cell phone, they could show up at a field site, field location, the individual that's checking tickets at that location, they would have the scan codes that would bring that up right then, and they can send that directly to that occupational health and safety officer so they can see that all their credentials are up to speed. And same thing with orientations, you can put in your own micro courses or tools for onboarding staff. So there's just so much to this system. Definitely reach out if that's of interest to you. Next slide, please. Another thing that they've started adding is Construction Association has a gold seal accreditation. And so those of you working in the construction industry that are looking towards obtaining your gold seal, we have some online options for that as well. So things from construction estimating to business management, law, change order management, to project accounting and cost control. So there's a wide range of those courses that you can take online and work towards that gold seal credit as well. Next slide, please. Even things like online driver training and professional driver train improvement courses. So we have both the PEIC and the defensive driving programs available online. So again, the nice thing with these is you can work at your own time. Once you successfully pass with 80%, Fleet Safety International, who is the one who's developed this course, they send you a form, a pink slip that you then take into any Alberta registry office, and you will get 3 demerits applied off your license. If you currently have a clean abstract, it's kind of like a get out of jail free card, I call it. So if you get a ticket in the next 2 years after applying that, it will take off those 3 demerits. And this is important, especially for professional drivers, because they have to keep their demerits low to keep that class 1, 2, or 3 driver designation. Other courses that are available online, from pre-trip to fatigue management, hours of service training, oil field driver safety, and transportation dangerous goods. Next slide, please. Even things like online equipment safety training. So there's the AWP certification available online. There's the theory courses for a lot of equipment, rigging and slinging, hydrovac. So a lot of these are awareness. You still need to be shown and taught on site how to properly operate, but to learn all of the things, especially for things like forklift and that, to get the theory aspects, you can do a lot of that available online now. Next slide, please. A little bit about how to fund your training. So this is a program that we worked with a number of our clients, especially if you're going to be investing in at least 21 hours of training for your employee. You can get up to, for current staff, up to 2/3 training reimbursement. And for eligible unemployed new hires, up to 100% of your training tuition costs back. So great program. Next slide, please. So again, if you go onto their site, there's going to be some information regarding eligibility. Next slide, please. And they've improved this program. I have to say, I've worked with this program for many years. It hasn't always been the easiest program to navigate, and it's been a headache sometimes for employers, but now the application is no longer print. It's done entirely online. And with some of the updated changes as of February 18th, operationally, they've made it far more easy and usable. For example, you used to have to wait 30 days and get approval. Now, as long as you get the application in and submitted, you could be starting the training tomorrow. So you don't have to have that approval to start your training. So operationally, it's great. And the temporary changes that are available till February next year that you'll definitely want to look into, especially if you're a business owner or a sole proprietor and you have a very small staff, for fewer employees, including yourself, you might be eligible to access this for the next year. So you definitely want to look at that if you fit into that. Businesses that hire family members formerly weren't able to utilize this training. Now they are as well for the next year. So definitely a lot of things to look at with this training program. And I definitely, because they've reduced a lot of the red tape, I highly recommend looking at this to help fund your training costs. Next slide, please. Again, training duration, minimum 21 hours, and training must be completed within a 52-week period. Next slide, please. I threw this slide in because this is new. So it's an Alberta Jobs Now program, and Community Futures actually tomorrow is going to be having a webinar on it. They're also going to be having a webinar. I know the Construction Association is going to be having some webinars. So again, I don't know a lot of information about this, but I do know that this program is incentivizing employers that are going to be creating jobs and employers that are going to be looking at bringing on people. So this is another thing. So between the Canada Alberta Job Grant program and this program, there's going to be a lot of things for employers to take advantage of to train their employees. And this might help with a lot of that safety training and some of those short courses, because with the Canada Alberta Job Grant program, you require 21 hours of a program. This might be different. So I definitely encourage you to either tune into this webinar tomorrow, being put on by Community Futures, or look for, I know they're probably going to be running a number of these in the next week or two. So definitely watch for those on social media. The Construction Association, they're likely going to be coming out with one as well. Next slide. And that's about all for me. So I threw out a mouthful, a lot of information. Easiest way to get a hold of me these days is by email. I check my voicemail as well, but currently I'm working remote a fair bit. I go into the college when I need to, but still at this moment, they're wanting us, if we can work remote, to work remote. It's likely going to change this fall, knock on wood, but for now, and one of the nice things with this job is, you know, we can be flexible. We can go to businesses direct to them, and I can work at the college, I can work at home, and a lot of time on the phone with clients. But definitely do reach out to me if you have questions on anything I presented here today. Even if they're questions, just general questions about the college. If I don't know, I'll put you in touch with who does, or the department that does. I get people messaging me about the strangest things at times, and I'll do my best to to try and help deliver you those answers.
Well, thank you so much, Wesley. That was so much information on all of the different things that the college is providing our communities. It's fantastic. And touching on the Canada-Alberta job grant to let people know that there's options available to help assist with that training. That's wonderful. I hope you're going to be quite busy in the next couple of months after this presentation with lots of our businesses applying and getting some training for their staff in time for fall.
I hope so as well. And it seems the general feel is people are itching to get back to getting some training, getting that interaction. Mm-hmm. And what we've developed too is even with some of the online training that we deliver, and I was a bit skeptical with some of the online, well, how good is online? But with one of the new programs that the college has recently purchased, the Blackboard Collaborate, that they've been running through all of the academic programs, we're able to really make training online quite deliverable. And I'm sure that we're going to see more of that training. And that will just provide more opportunities for individuals in Brooks and other rural areas that are, you know, if the course doesn't have enough numbers to run in Brooks at the campus, we could run a course and then, you know, feed it to Medicine Hat, feed it to Brooks, and feed it to individuals where they're at. So I see a big rise in that in the coming years for sure, in terms of training and delivery.
Yeah, no, that's very exciting. Does anyone have any questions for Wesley before we call it a day?
No, I was going to say that thank you, Wesley. Thank you so much for doing this presentation. I did have the opportunity to take that course, the whatchamacallit, with Justin, the supervisory course, and he was really fantastic. So yeah, I'm excited that he's doing this again for the next few weeks. I think it would be a great opportunity for businesses as well to take that course. It's an eye opener for supervisors.
Mm-hmm. It definitely is. And the neat thing about that course is everyone that takes that course does a personalized FIRO assessment, so that they're learning where their strengths are, where their challenges are, and how to work with their teams so that they can bring their strengths to this table and then pull people into the roles to do the areas that they're maybe not as good at. And so it definitely is a great course, and he's just a personable guy. He's easygoing and, you know, down to earth. And so, you know, I get a lot. There's a few instructors that you start to work with that you get clients asking, okay, what else does Justin do? What else does Brian deliver? Could we do something like this? And that's kind of the interesting thing is people understand what their issues are, you know, or they at least understand that there is an issue. Our sales are dropping. We're not making as much money. And sometimes having that fresh eye perspective, having someone come in, because we get so used to our daily routines and what we're doing. And so sometimes that fresh eye, that, you know, outsider coming in can just provide a little bit of different perspective, whether that's myself coming in, meeting with the client, whether that's them picking something up from a training course and the instructor. You know, there's definitely a lot of value to look at ongoing lifelong learning.
Well, that's wonderful. Just going to double check. Any other questions? All right, well, if you do decide, Wesley's got his email up here and his phone number, so please do contact with any questions you have, and he'll be happy to help you. Well, thank you so much for your time and all this wonderful information. And we will, as we're recording it, we will put that out to the community, our businesses, to make sure anyone who missed the presentation today can view it and get this information to utilize. So thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.
All right, everyone, thank you for attending and have a wonderful day. We'll see you next Thursday. Take care.